So you got the implied contrasts of a hard, square structural form in an organic living system. So you've sort of got a hypersquare.
Seeking salvation in the future.
A hypersquare inside a living cosmos. That's the vibe.
That's one aspect of future. Salvation for the little me. The other part of future is the little me also knows that the future is very threatening. It is drawn towards it as an answer to its story, but it knows at the same time that the future is going to kill it. Of course it will. So a dreadful dilemma arises for the little me. It's drawn towards future as an answer, as salvation, as fulfillment.
This is a bashed up,
And at the same time,
expressionistic, sort of unconscious
because anything may happen.
landscape.
I may lose what I already have, which may not be all that satisfying, but at least I have
Subjective. You can project whatever form, structure you like.
away from me. The two movements that govern whatever the fictitious entity that humans are trapped in,
Fictitious
whatever
entity.
action it undertakes is governed by two.
So it's an early version of when I was using shells, grinding, mark making, structure, mark making, language, expressionism.
That's why
Trying to synthesize mind with environment.
traditionally this has been called desire in spiritual teachings.
Yeah,
The other movement
desire.
connected with future is, my God, what's going to happen to me? What's the
This is a bit of a retarded one. I'm not really pleased with, although it's amusing as process.
So you must move between those two in a continuous conflict or dilemma. Desire, which is wanting and needing, and fear. So drawn to future and fearing it at the same time. Easy to see why humans live in such misery.
Oh, shut up,
And then
out.
the whole
I do
fiction
appreciate him, but Jesus Christ. Thank God I'm not a Buddhist. This one's a cartoon, surreal one. It's a bit teenage. I like it though. I think it's called Winter Glitch. It's quite detailed. It's quite old too. Yeah, art can be regressive, transgressive. I mean, I've been reflecting recently that my earlier work, 20 years ago, probably embodied a slightly different sort of level of intent behind it based on, and now that I'm there, 20 years later, I muck around in the sandpit of who I used to be when I was younger. That's the problem with trauma, is it trauma freezes up your development in stages, and you can unfreeze. So integration is about sort of accessing self and anyway. Had a reasonably traumatized childhood where I wasn't very present. But I think what I'm getting at here is that, I think that's why the older you get, the more in love with the naivety of childhood we become. Which is why works like this become more interesting because they speak about an area of knowing yourself that is beyond it's outside the periphery of your own awareness. So you can't know how to do it before you do it. You have to be in the moment. You can't know how to do it. You can't know how to do it. It just happens. There's a happening. All of this work is like that. It's not scripted. There are processes that I can rely on, but the combination of the processes starts escalating, and you've got a threshold of a dynamic which basically is out of control. It's what holds it together is going down all the other rabbit holes that don't work. So otherwise you'd get a formula. You might as well go and buy Dick Frizzell. Anyway, art's a mystery, as is psyche and the perceiver. Holy, holy, holy.